प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। परित्यज्य मौनं वटादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशम् मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गे नयन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्भाति चित्ते। नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्र सरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारम् सन्मतिप्रदं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। In the Viveka Chudamani class, currently the topic that we are going to see is Samadhi, Savikalpaka Samadhi and Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. And before seeing Savikalpaka Samadhi and Nirvikalpaka Samadhi in detail, we are talking about the basic tenets of yoga as a system of philosophy and practice. Yoga darshanam and yoga abhyasam. Whatever the thing that we are calling as yoga currently, they fall under yoga abhyasam. There is no doubt about it. They are genuine yoga teachers who teach you the practice of yoga, but the philosophy and the theory behind the yoga is not propagated as it is today. We need to understand these concepts because these have been talked about in Vedas as well. So in the last class, we saw how Astika Darshanas and Nastika Darshanas differ from each other. Astika Darshanas, they accept Vedas as Pramanas, even though they may not accept a personal God. Even though they may not accept a personal God or impersonal God, they all accept Vedas, Punya Papas, Swarga Naraka and Atma. So they all are called as Astika Darshanas. On the other hand, Nastika Darshanas, they do not accept Vedas as the highest authority. And some may accept Punya Papa, some may accept Swarga Naraka, some might or might not accept Atma. But because they don't accept Vedas as Parama Pramana, or they don't accept all the concepts that are in Vedas to be valid, they are called as Nastika Darshanas, and we do not encourage to follow those Nastika Darshanas because it is Avaidhika, Bauddha, Jaina, Charvaka, Lokayatana. These are some of the examples of Nastika Darshanas. So in the Astika Darshana, yoga is a Pradhana Darshana, yoga. And this yoga, all the Astika Darshanas and Nastika Darshanas as well have been codified into sutras. That is why we have Mimamsa Sutra. Mimamsa is an Astika Darshana, Purva Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa, Vedanta. We have Brahma Sutras or Vedanta Sutras. we have Nyaya Sutras. In the same way, we also have Yoga Sutra. Yoga Sutra is written by Patanjali Maharishi. And there are several bhashyams for Yoga Sutras as well. And in his bhashyams, Adi Shankaracharya, in his bhashyams of Prasthanatrayi Bhashyam, that is Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, and Brahma Sutra Bhashyas, Adi Shankaracharya accepts yoga as a valid physical exercise, as a valid abhyasa. Even though he does not accept yoga as a philosophy, he accepts yoga as a tool, as a very practical tool, very convenient, useful, practical tool that can be incorporated for the unity of your body and mind. Because that is what yoga means. Yoga, it comes from the dhatu yuj, to unite. Yoga comes from the Sanskritam dhatu yuj, to unite. So it unites our body and mind. And by doing yoga abhyasa, yogic practice completely, it definitely helps to unite our body and mind. Yogas chitta vritti nirodhataha, says Yoga Sutra. What is yoga? It removes the chitta vritti. It removes the preconception, pre-colored, preconceived notions, preconceived biases in our chitta. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhataha, Yoga Sutra. So what are the essentials of yoga as a practice? We are not talking about yoga as a philosophy, but I'm talking about yoga as a practice. I gave you an example last class, Ayurveda. Ayurveda as a philosophy, Ayurveda as a practice. Ayurveda as a philosophy, the modern medicine might not accept. Vadam, Kabam, Pittam. Modern medicine might not accept. But Ayurveda as a practice, what is the practice of Ayurveda? You have to wake up early in the morning. You have to eat good food. You have to eat sattvika food. If you take this medicine, it is going to help you cure this disease. All these come under yoga as practice, Ayurveda as practice. That modern medicine accepts. We see modern doctors, they prescribe sattvic foods for certain type of people. If we give the Ayurveda aushadhis, the herbs that are present in Ayurveda, it definitely helps to cure some of the diseases. There is absolutely no doubt about it. So, Ayurveda as a philosophy, the modern medicine need not accept. But Ayurveda as a practice, the modern medicine accepts. In the same way, yoga as a philosophy, Vedanta need not accept. But yoga as a practice definitely has its own uses. And the yoga, it has got 8 essential practices called as Ashtanga Yoga. So 8 limbs, Anga means parts. So yoga has got Ashtanga Yoga, 8-fold practices. We saw some of them in the last class. Yama, Niyama. Yama means do's and don'ts. Yama and Niyama are do's and don'ts. Whenever we do anything, even if you go to a doctor, the doctor will prescribe medicine. Along with this medicine, he will say, okay, you can eat these things. You should not eat these food. In your lifestyle, you can do A, B, C, D, E. You should not do A, B, C, D, E. For a person with heart attack, problems in heart, the doctor will say, okay, you have to sleep properly. What is the direct connection between my sleeping and my heart? It might not be very obvious to us, but there is a connection. You have to eat healthy food. You have to decrease salt in your food. You have to decrease fat in your food. You need to take more fruits and vegetables. All these are nothing but yama and niyama. Yama, what are all the things you need to abstain from? Niyama, what are all the things you need to observe? So the yama and the niyama that is told in Yoga Sutra prevalently are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Ahimsa, do not harm anyone. Do not harm anyone. Satya, do not tell lies. Asatyam, don't speak asatyam. Priyam bruyat, satyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam. Asteya, do not steal anything which do not belong to you. Do not steal any object that does not belong to you. Asteya. Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya does not mean celibacy, but it means even if you have partner, be truthful to your partner. Brahmacharya, the word comes in many places with many meanings. Brahmacharya, the normal meaning is celibate, but it does not mean just celibate. You can be a householder, you can be a grihastha, but follow Shastra, Brahmacharya. And aparigraha, do not even think of owning up something which do not belong to you. Asteya is not stealing. Aparigraha also has the same meaning, but asteya, it is a physical process. Parigraha can be mental process as well. Okay, he has that. I want to have that. Why? Because he has that, I also want to have. That is parigraha. So do not have, even think of stealing somebody's possession. These are the 5 yamas which you should not do. And then there are niyamas which you need to do. Saucha. Saucha literally means cleanliness. Shaucham literally means cleanliness. But when we say cleanliness, we normally associate that with physical cleanliness. No, cleanliness of our body. But here it does not only mean physical cleanliness, it also means purity in your mind and speech. So purity of your body, purity of your speech, purity of your mind. All these 3 put together is called as Saucha. All of our practices, our Indian practices of Yachal, Pattu, all these things come under Shaucha. Remember, Yoga Sutra has been written some 2000, 3000 years ago. And these concepts are prevalent even before the Yoga Sutra. These concepts are prevalent even before Yoga Sutra. They are prevalent from Vedas themselves. So about 3000, 4000, 5000 years. And at that time, how the other cultures were there, we also have to see. The other cultures, we talk about medieval Europe. I'm not talking about ancient Europe. Medieval Europe in thousands, 1500. If we read the description of medieval Europe, it is all filthy. And at that time, people do not take bath daily. On the same hand, we were codifying our cleanliness rituals. So that much great our Sanatana Dharma was and is. We have to keep this in our mind, because in our schools, in our colleges, everywhere we go in scientific publications as well, it so happens that Eurocentric science is being propagated. As if, human beings were dying before science came to Europe. And only when science was developed in Europe, people know about these cleanliness practices and all. That is all not fact at all. At that time, when those countries were, dying from cholera, dying from, communicable diseases, we followed pristine Shaucham. And it is that Shaucham that helped us to overcome the COVID situation. Our practices of not touching somebody else unnecessarily, our practice of taking a shower whenever you come home from outside, our practices of cleanliness, Yechal and Patu, is what the entire world is following. Entire world followed during COVID. That is what helped them. So we all need to keep that in our mind. So Shaucham. Santosha. Santosha means contentment. Contentment. Santosha. Tapas. Tapas means mastering your body. Normally, tapas has been mistranslated lot of times in many different ways. They say tapas means meditation. Tapas does not mean meditation. Meditation means dhyanam. What is tapas? Tapas means willfully you put your body into denial. Your body will ask for lots of things. Your body, because these are sense organs, it always go behind the sense pleasures. There is nothing wrong in it. Sense organs means it will go behind sense pleasure. Just like how if you touch fire, it is hot. It is the nature of fire. We cannot shun fire for being hot. The same way, we cannot shun our body. We cannot shun our sense organs for going behind sense pleasures. If it is sense organs, it is going to go behind sense pleasure. Natas parushastu kaunteya sitoshna sukadukkadaha agamapainaha anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. So our sense organs will go behind the sense pleasures. But we need to understand that we won't get sense pleasures at all the time. Okay, even though my organ wants sense pleasures, it is very impossible, it is impractical to get sense pleasures at all the time. One may have lots of money. Okay, he will think, okay, I am going to buy whatever I want. But the doctor will say, okay, you do not add sugar in your food because you have diabetes. You do not add salt in your food because you have lots of blood pressure. You don't take meat in your food because you have lots of cholesterol. Then this person will think, okay, why should I live? I want to eat good food, but if I cannot eat good food, why should I live? So we normally take sense pleasures for granted, thinking that, okay, if I have lots of money, I will get lots of sense pleasures. It is not so. He might buy an expensive cot with expensive bed, water bed, which can vibrate, which can sing a lullaby, which can put you to sleep. He might have money to do that, but he will not have time to use that bed. Elon Musk, he says, okay, I am sleeping in the Tesla factory for most of my, I'm spending most of my night sleeping in the Tesla factory. He has lots of money. He can buy all those fancy beds, but he does not have time or opportunity to sleep in that bed. So we might have means to buy all those pleasures, but it so happens that we cannot enjoy all these pleasures. So at that time, we should not frown. Matras parushastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkadaha. Next line is very important. The shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. Agama payinaha anityaha. Hey Arjuna, all these sense pleasures are agama payinaha. They come and then they go. Anityaha, they are impermanent. So what you need to do? Tam titikshasva. You have to endure all pleasure and pain. You have to endure pleasure and pain. You have to endure praise and abuse. When I have to endure pain, it is very hard. Enduring pleasure is very easy. Enduring pain is most the hardest thing, especially if it comes to you without asking permission from you. What should I do? I need to put my body through all these pains. Willfully, I need to deny my body. Willfully, I need to deny pleasure to my body. So that if it happens later, I don't have an adverse reaction. That is called as tapas. All the vratams that we do, it is form of a tapas. We have Shivaratri vratam, where Shastra says, do not sleep for one day. You have been sleeping for 364 days. Just one day, practice non-sleeping and one night to your body. Okay, I don't sleep in Shivaratri day. Next day, morning, after the Shivaratri puja is over, I come home, I sleep. No, you should not do that. So one day you have to experience sleeplessness. Why? Because later in your life, you might have some adverse conditions where you just cannot sleep. Okay, you are getting a big promotion tomorrow. You are very anxious. You could not sleep the day before. Your wife is delivering a baby next day. You could not sleep. You are very anxious. You could not sleep. Or you are having some family problems or some financial problems which prevents you from sleeping. Normally, what happens when you don't sleep the day before? The next day, you will all be so grumpy, right? So Shastra says, okay, if you have a very big interview next day, if you are grumpy in the day of your interview, it is not going to help you in your cause, right? So that is why Shastra says, okay, practice not sleeping at least once in a year. Practice not sleeping at least once or twice in a year so that it comes to you automatically. So even when you have some anxious, sleepless nights, then the next day you can carry out your work without any problem. It is tapas. Food. Ekadashi vratam. Chaturmasya vratam. Shakha vratam. I don't eat this thing in this day. Alavana vratam. I don't put salt in my food for 6 days. Why? To make your body practice. Because the doctor is going to say, hey, you are going to have blood pressure. You are having very high BP. You should not add salt. See all those old people who are having diet control, they will always be complaining. I cannot eat this thing. They have to eat that. There is no other way. It is for their own good. But they will say, I cannot eat that. If some of their family members is, forcefully enforcing that diet, they will get angry at that person. Hey, that person is doing you a favor. He is increasing your lifespan. But, that son or daughter-in-law or the daughter or son-in-law who comes and advises this person, he will get angry. Okay, this person is not letting me enjoy what I want. I want to eat sugar. He is not letting me eat sugar. I want to eat full belly. He is not letting me eat that. He is counting the grains of rice. He is counting the chapati. It leads to family feud. It leads to fights in the families. We normally take food for granted, but it leads to many fights. The daughter-in-law, she is harassing me by not giving me any salt. Because the doctor says, why does the doctor and daughter-in-law care? The doctor says, okay, don't eat salt because it is bad for you. So our mind does not accept that if it is enforced on to us by a daughter, by a son, or by a daughter-in-law. So that is why Shastra says, okay, on Ekadashi, don't eat anything. So that the next day, if the doctor says, okay, you should not include all these food, all these items in your food, you automatically accept that because you have done that before. That is called as tapas. Right? Tapas does not mean just sitting in meditation. Tapas means willful denial of sense pleasures to your body so that you can practice all these things. So that you can practice that when it is not available. Tapas. Swadhyaya. Reading Shastric scriptures. That is a duty for all of us. Not for men, not for women, not for Brahmana, only for Kshatriya, Vaishya. No. Swadhyaya, everybody should do. We have vast scriptures. We have Vedas, we have Itihasas, we have Puranas, we have Granthas which has been written by Acharya. Now we are doing Swadhyaya because we are reading a spiritual scripture called as viveka chudamani, Swadhyaya. And Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana means contemplation. Serving Bhagavan is Ishvara Pranidhana. So all these 10 together are called as Yama and Niyama. Third one is Asana. Asana is the postures that we do. Padmasana, Sukhasana, Savasana, Ardha Padmasana, Kukkutasana. It is to keep your body flexible enough. Asanas are to keep your body flexible enough so that it helps when you do dhyana. When you are doing dhyana, later we will see dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Okay, the first 5 are related to your body in the Ashtanga Yoga. The first 4 or 5 steps, 4 or 5, you can include 5 as well, are related to your body. The later 3 are related to your mind. Why do they keep body before mind? Because only when your body is good, your mind can indulge in meditation, meditative practices. Say, I lost a limb. My hand is paining. Okay. If somebody comes and say, hey, can you sit and do meditation? I cannot do because I have physical pain. My physical pain is more gross. My mind is more subtle. So if I have a gross pain, it is going to overcome my subtle body. Right? So that is why all the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama and pratyahara, they all prepare your body. These are called as preparatory steps for dharana, dhyana and samadhi. So if I want to sit in meditation, and if there is a person, you might have seen some people, they cannot sit in one place for more than 1 minute. They all physically active. They cannot sit in one place for more than 1 minute. How can they do dhyana? How can they enter into samadhi? And samadhi, there is nirvikalpaka samadhi and savikalpaka samadhi. So they cannot do that. So you calm your mind. You make your body sit in a single place for a lot of time. So these are all preparatory exercises for doing dharana, dhyana and samadhi. So asana means making your body comfortable to sit in a posture for a length of time. Can be any asana. And we do all these asanas to make our body fit, to make our body flexible so that you don't get needles and pins if you sit for a length of time. That is called as asana. Next is pranayama. Pranayama, we all know. It has been reduced to breathing exercises. It is breathing exercises, yes, but it has got some more. There are Sagarbha Pranayama, Nirgarbha Pranayama, Sabija Pranayama, Nirbija Pranayama, Kabhalabhati Pranayama. So there are different stages of pranayama, and because there is there is an intertwining of your body, your mind, and the rate at which you breathe. So if you are very angry, or if you are sad, if you are having a panic attack, first way your body reacts to all these adverse, if you are sad, if you are crying, if you have panic attack, is the body increases your breathing rate. Next time, if somebody else is having a panic attack, somebody else is crying, somebody else is overly joy, just notice them. They will all be breathing up and down heavily, right? So some disturbance happens from normalcy in your body or in your mind. The first indicator is your breathing pattern. What yoga says is that because they two are interconnected, just because your breathing gets affected by your body and mind state, Shastra says, okay, then your body and mind state should be affected by your breathing as well. The state of your body and mind can also be regulated by breathing. So Shastra willfully says, take a slow, deep breath. Even now, somebody is having a panic attack. The doctors say, okay, take deep breath, your panic attack will go away. My iWatch tells me, take deep breath once in a while. There is an app that comes along with the iWatch that says, okay, once in 1 hour, it says mindfulness breathing. So it has some fancy term, mindfulness or mindfulness breathing. Once in every hour, it says, okay, it gives an alarm. It says, okay, now it is time to take a deep breath. Why? Because it helps to calm down my mind. All these are our Eastern practices. So pranayama. And this pranayama has got lots of other meanings as well, which we will see in the next class. I thought I will finish all the 8 today, but we could not finish this. But there is no urgency. So we will see the remaining steps of pranayama. How it is related to chakra meditation, the so-called chakra Kundalini Shakti, how it is related to Vinayagar Agaval that Avvayar has written, and then we will see the rest of Ashtanga Yoga in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om.